What an absolutely horrendous game of football. Proper snooze fest. But luckily, we get the 3 points, which I guess at this stage is probably the only thing that matters when we're chasing. Arsenal won, Ipswich nil. A goal from Kai Havertz in the first half, assisted by Trossard. Good goal, very good goal. Open play, which is something we obviously get criticized for. Scoring from corners and set pieces, so we have to score open play goals, or it's not good enough otherwise. To be honest, even with the play goal, it wasn't good enough. Um, I think we were just very poor, very lackluster, very slow in attack. We went back to how we were against Everton and Fulham, which I thought is going to change after the Crystal Palace games. Um, but maybe that was more to do with how Crystal Palace played against us, I guess. I don't know. Um, Odegaard with a stinker of a performance. He kind of picked it up a little bit in the second half and had some very good moves here and there, but it didn't lead to anything. But the first half was horrendous. And even the second half, after he had some of those good movements and some of those good passes, he ended up missing a couple of simple passes as well. Um, Trossard outside the assist, I don't remember him doing much. Martinelli, one the worst player on the pitch for me today. The worst player on the pitch. And I've said it before, and I'm not trying to have an agenda, honestly. He does not work on the right. Because at least on the left, he's got an option of cutting inside on his stronger foot, crossing, linking up, or he can still go on the outside and cross with his weak foot. He's done that many times before. He's able to cross with his left foot. But when you play him on the right side, you're restricting him because now the only option is to go on the outside and cross, which he did a couple of times. He did the first time and he put in a cross. I think he did it a second time as well. And then Davis was ready for it. He's like, bruh, you're too one-footed. You're extremely one-footed. I know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to go on the outside every single time. And he started watching out for that. And he started blocking him every time he went from the outside. And that's it. Martinelli was done for. I think there was one or two times when he couldn't find a way to go on the outside, and he's obviously not going to cut in on the inside because that's not his strength. So he just crossed it from a standstill position. And to be fair, one of them was a good cross actually. But yeah, outside that he was very, very poor. Very poor. I'm not going to talk about, oh, he did a good job defensively. I don't give a shit about that. When it comes to wingers, I will never judge you by your defensive work. I will always judge you by your attacking work first. And if your attacking work is good enough, then I will also look at, okay, what else do you also give me defensively? Then fair enough. Because then that just elevates you to a higher level. But if your attacking work is average and your defensive work is amazing, it doesn't matter for me. Because as a winger, your main job is to be a goal threat. By scoring or assisting, which he's not done. So yeah, that experiment for me is just horrendous. I think he needs to scrap that and play Ethan Nwaneri on the right, or at least move Trossard on the right and keep Martinelli on the left, because at least Trossard can play with his left foot too. I thought Jesus was having a good game. Scored a nice goal, which was obviously offside, but it was still a good finish from a tight angle. So if that's the kind of Jesus we're going to keep having for the rest of the season, then that's obviously a very good sign. And I was surprised to see that he took him off before Havertz. And this is how I said about Trossard, that the only thing he did was the assist. It's the same thing for me with Havertz. I know it sounds a bit crazy to say when we win 1-0 and the only goal is scored by Havertz, so people will be like, why are you criticizing the one guy who scored for us? And look, big praise to him, obviously, for scoring the goal. Good finish, good positioning in the right place. And he hit it the correct way, and he obviously finished it. But if he was playing as a striker, I would say that's all I need from him. Everything else he did, I don't care. But when you're playing as a midfielder, I expect a lot more. You're supposed to create more. You're supposed to be involved a lot more in the build-up. And I don't know, man. I just look at his performance, and it just doesn't make me think like, yeah, this guy was on it today in terms of. I want to see how many touches he had. I don't think he had, compared to the other midfielders. So Kai Havertz touches 71, which is higher than his average, by the way. Rice had 81 and Odegaard had 92. Yeah, Havertz always has the least touches when it comes to our midfield. Although 71 is actually not bad. So I will hold my hand up and say, in terms of touches, he did do well today. And I said it on Saad's stream on the watch along that he was dropping deep to get the ball to be involved in the game more, which is fine. That's what a midfielder needs to do. But I just expect him to be a bit more creative and just look for more through balls, look for more good crosses. couple of times he went on the right wing in the second half, and I was expecting to do something dangerous, like try to cut in and shoot, or cut in and cross it, or link up and make a quick run inside. But he didn't do any of that, to be honest. Um, I thought it was embarrassing that we were trying to. I know people will be like, "You're winning 1-0. Is like it's stoppage time. You need to do it." But against Ipswich, I don't like us going to the corner and trying to waste time like that when we can actually score. And I think this is what separates us from Liverpool when it comes to the attack. When it comes to the attacking side of the game, their mentality is just elite. They're always looking to add a second and a third and a fourth. And we're sitting here trying to like go to the corner in the last few minutes of the game. Martinelli and Havertz. Gabriel Magalhaes should have scored that chance he had. I have no. Literally, I said this on Saad's watch along. If there's any player in the entire Premier League that I would want to have a header from that range, it's Gabriel Magalhaes, and he ends up missing from like 1 or 2 yards out, which is just insane. That should have been an easy 2-0. But sadly, it didn't work. Odegaard had a really good run where he took a shot. He had a nice dribble and then took a shot, but it went over. It deflected out, I think. But yeah, I don't think we did that well, man. It's such a poor game. Such a poor game. And my concern with this game, more than that this was a bad game, is the fact that this could carry on. I hope that's not the case. Because our next game is Brentford away, right? So that's obviously a very, very difficult game. And then after Brentford, we play Brighton away. So we've got 2 difficult back-to-back away games. And then after that, we play Newcastle in the League Cup, which obviously will also be difficult because it's the League Cup semi-finals, and Newcastle will obviously look to make it very difficult and to go through. But yeah, look, 3 points in the end. I guess Silver. If I speak about the positives, then I'm going to say, for starters, 3 points is very important. That's probably the only thing that matters. Oh yeah, sorry, I have to mention this as well because I just saw the replay. How did Kai Havertz miss that sitter? When Trossard headed the ball to him, and he freaking barely touched it. It reminds me of his miss against United last season at the Emirates when he tried to go to shoot the ball and he barely flicked it. It's just insane, man. Like, he goes and scores a decent finish and then ends up having that crap. But yeah, look, positives. I wanted to say positives, and then immediately I see something on the replay and I go back to negatives because there were so many negatives this game. But yeah, positives. We obviously got the 3 points. We go above Chelsea, and we close the gap to 6 points behind Liverpool. Obviously, they have a game in hand, but for now, we'll just go by the points on the board. We have the best defense in the league, so we finally claimed that back after like 18 game weeks. We currently have the best defense in the league, which is pretty nice to have, but obviously we need to make sure we show it now in terms of results and getting consistent wins and stuff. What else was positive? Defenders, I mean, whenever they were tested, I think all of them did a very good job. Saliba, Gabriel, quite solid in the middle, didn't let Delap have any sort of luck. Hutchinson was completely shut down by Skelly and even by Timber when he went the other way. Like, I thought both fullbacks were fantastic. And we were saying this on Saad's watch along that they kind of resemble each other in the body stature and in the way they put their socks up and the way they dribble out of the press and the way they run and the pace they have. And to be honest, even defensively, like Timber, I already know he's solid defensively. And I've said before that when it comes to defending, I think he's the best fullback in the league, in my opinion. But Skelly's also put a very, very good game defensively. Again, it's only Ipswich, but it is what it is. When you have to do that, what you have to do, he did what he had to do, basically. Rice, I thought, had a very good game defensively, but in this kind of game, when we're playing against a team like Ipswich, I'm looking for more than that from my defensive midfielder. I'm looking for creativity. I'm looking for good progressive runs. I'm looking for good shots. He had a shot that he took from outside the box that just went over. I had no issues with that. In the watch along, I was actually like cheering for him and said that's a good shot. So I wish he took more shots like that, or at least like created more chances, like put in more good crosses in or more good long balls into the box. So going forward, I don't think he did enough for me, which is why I don't think he had the best game. Defensively, I expect him to do a good job against Ipswich when we have like 70% possession or how much ever we had. I don't even know how much possession we had. Let me just check it right here. I think it was over 70%. Okay, 68%. Fair enough. So a little less. Moreno came off the bench. I thought was poor. Didn't add much, to be honest. Kept falling on the floor a couple of times, trying to go on lunging tackles and missed the ball on both occasions. Partey didn't have a lot of impact either because he played obviously very little. I don't understand why Martinelli stayed on the pitch when he was the worst player on the pitch, and Waneri, in my opinion, should have come on. Sorry, I keep forgetting to stay on the positives. Positive. Honestly, there's nothing else. There's nothing else. A lot of people might come out saying that, oh, look, this is what happens when you miss Bukayo Saka. I don't know, man. I don't think. I think Bukayo Saka would have definitely elevated us on the right wing. He would have done 10 times better than what Martinelli did and probably contributed something, but we shouldn't rely on Bukayo Saka being there to have more creativity against a team like Ipswich. And we had chances to finish the game, like Gabriel Magalhaes, as I said, with the header. Kai Havertz from that Trossard header as well should have finished it, but we just couldn't bury our dinner, I guess. But thank God for the first goal in the first half. We play like this against Brentford, by the way, and we're 100% losing that game. 100% we're losing that game. I don't think we will. I think we'll be a lot better against Brentford because they will attack more. They will force us to defend deep sometimes, and we'll get like more spaces to attack going forward. And the same with Brighton. But if we somehow play this bad, which I don't think we will definitely lose that game. So let's hope we pick it up. Anyways, that's it from me, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.